All right, guys, we got an exciting training today with the one and only Blanca, the PRG veteran, top agent, the mom of the office. Those of you guys, obviously everybody knows Blanca and how great she is. Some of you guys have the pleasure of working with her with clients. Some of you guys have just seen her from afar and obviously, see her presence and what she brings to the table. But we wanted to really focus on today was just really how, her process, kind of a little insight on what she does to move buyers forward. Because I think that's a really important topic, guys, today is as we get, more and more opportunity with buyers and stuff like that, whether you're meeting them at an open house, whether you're getting them from online leads or referrals, there is a process and a strategy to get them to move forward faster, to have a great experience when they're buying homes with you, when you're out there showing homes, what is going through Blanca's mind, how is she approaching it, all those different things, which has led to her success. I mean, Blanca's closed, now like hundreds of sales under her belt, many 5-star reviews. A lot of her business comes from repeat and referral business. So she's doing, a lot of awesome things, which has led to all of her success. So I think we can all learn from her, whether you're brand new or whether you're already closing deals or whether you're a veteran. There's, some takeaways that you'll be able to apply, or maybe stuff that you forgot to do that you want to, start re-implementing into your business. So we're going to kick it off, guys. I'm going to, let me see. I'm going to pin.
Well, I just want to add something, Enrique, while you do that. Just really quick, guys. Again, like Enrique said some great things about Blanca. I worked with her on transactions. I want to make it clear that I even been in situations where clients have had agents, and I said, hey, listen, just interview Blanca, right? And Blanca's had, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because it's going to go, I know Blanca's going to go from start to finish, but even in the beginning, she's not fearful, even if they have an agent. She still performs, right? And that I just kind of wanted to add that to when Enrique was introducing her, was that, she obviously does all these great things, but since she also has that capability of, hey, just interview me, let me go ahead and show you what I have to offer. And she's done it a handful of times. She did it for me earlier this week. I didn't even tell Blanca. This client had an agent, was already looking at property. I said, hey, interview my agent. Now they signed with Blanca. I didn't even tell Blanca until last night. But I think that's important to understand of who you guys have that's going to be, helping us train and kind of bringing that value to you guys. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Keeks.
Absolutely. Great points there, Jay. All right. So I believe that, I always like to talk about mindset first before we go into anything, right? Because if you're not approaching something with the right mindset, then really none of the other stuff matters. And so I like to just first understand, I'm going to try to cover her mindset, entering, these transactions with buyers and showing homes and stuff like that. I want to know what she does to prepare for her showings, because I think a lot of the success has to do with how you prepare, so that when you do show up, you're able to deliver as much value. Yep, we're recording. And then I like to know what she's doing while she's actually on the showing, right? So she's there at the property. What are some of the things and the keys to her success while she's on the showing? And then lastly, how do you transition from showing to now getting them to move forward to the next steps, whether it's looking at more property, whether it's writing an offer, whether it's talking to the lender, stuff like that, right? So that's kind of, I want to cover from kind of start to finish, so you guys get a lot of the tidbits. And we'll do a little bit of that. I'll kind of cover each section, and then I'll stop and see if you guys have any questions, just to make sure we're getting everything there.
I'm getting an echo.
Okay. Okay, so first step, mindset. Blanca, where are you at? Like, when you get a new client, and maybe you don't realize you do this, right? But it's probably just natural now.
Yeah.
But what are you trying to accomplish when you meet with a new buyer, whether you're going to consult them for the first time or whether you're going to show the home the first time? What's your frame of mind? How are you approaching this mentally? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that plays a very good role when you're going to go out to meet a client, especially if it's a cold lead or a referral or wherever the lead is coming from. I feel that having the right mindset going into this is key, just because the client can sense your how credible you are, how real you are, how experienced you are, and your professionalism as well. I have a great, I've had a great week so far, and I have 3 different scenarios that I could share with you guys, and I can also tailor the mindset to those scenarios, because they're all new clients. One of them was a referral, but they're all new clients. So, for example, I went out to Hollister on a new build showing for a Zillow Flex lead that came in. She has a friend who's in the industry, and I said, not a problem. I said, let's meet. We're still going to connect. Whatever you decide at the end, I want you to be happy and know that you can trust the agent you're going to be working with. So my mindset going to this appointment was, what's my value? What am I going to show this gal, and how are we going to connect? So we went to the KB Builder, and I happened to know the sales rep. I worked with her like on 6 other transactions. So when I got there, I was already there with Renee, the sales rep, waiting for our clients to show up. And they showed up, introduced myself there because we hadn't met personally. We were just on text messaging and communication there. So I feel that by you being prepared in the sense of knowing your surroundings, knowing what the market is doing, because whether they decide to go with the new build or not, you have to have tools in your tool belt to give them options and kind of go over what their needs are, what's important for them. So the mindset that I encourage you all to have is be excited, be professional, be prepared, and have good topics to share and show value.
Got it. Got it. So in that one where they have another agent, because we run into that, right? They have another agent, they know somebody. Do you do anything different? Like if you know they have another agent, are you like, is there anything you're trying to do different when they say they have another agent or they talk to someone else?
I congratulate them. I congratulate them and I tell them, hey, you're doing all the right things. This is a very big purchase for you. So I encourage you not only to interview a few agents, but also loan agents. At the end of the day, we're going to work with whoever makes sense for you. From the moment I meet them, I'm already assuming and wording everything like they're working with me. I'm already positioning it there. I said, hey, I'd love to interview for the position. I'm glad that you're doing this. It's very important for you guys to work with who you feel comfortable with. At the end of the day, I'm going to give you as much information as possible, and you're going to make that decision.
There you go. So, so you're tackling that head on, right? You're not dancing around it. You're not trying to make the other agent look bad or worse or anything like that. You're just saying like, hey, that's awesome. You're reassuring them. That's what I hear. You're reassuring them like, hey, you're doing the right things. You should be interviewing people.
Right.
Because then that shows that you're not afraid
No.
if they have someone else that they're talking to, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I love that, guys. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, what I wanted to add is for me, what I hear Blanca, and I've seen her, it's that she's ready to perform, right? Whatever the scenario, she said she has 3 scenarios, but the mindset that I see is she's ready, she's prepared, right? She's ready to perform, and she comes in with that same excited attitude every single time, which I feel is transferable, right? When you're excited, when you're this is, you're excited to meet with them, you're excited to show property with them. This is part of their experience. You're making the client feel a certain way. And Blanca does this naturally. And I encourage you guys to understand that this is it is your time to perform when you're meeting with these clients.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like that you said, Enrique, you don't talk about the other agent. I've never done that. I don't find it a necessity. I've never done that because you need to provide value for yourself. And the client will sense that, and it's a trust game. Once they feel that they can trust you, and once they feel you're being legit and honest, the wall comes down immediately. And always find a commonality, a connector. There's always something that we could connect about with our clients and just, have that connection. And that also softens and warms things up.
Give me an example. So that client in Hollister, right? They had another agent taking them to the new build. Where did you connect with them at? What was the connector that you found with them?
With them, where she works at Home Goods. So the connector there for me was like, I could not work at Home Goods. I'd spend all my paycheck there. So we connected there. We started laughing a little bit. And actually before the appointment, she called me. She was going to bring somebody with her, but she had some personal situation going on. And I said, I'm really glad you're sharing this with me. So I hadn't met her yet. This was just from our conversation. So she already felt that connection. And I said, I'm glad that you're sharing this with me. If there's anything you want to tell me ahead of time or anything, feel free to do it. So it's just finding any commonality, any connector that you can find with your clients. Clients are human beings just like us. So find that, connect that way, find something to bring that wall down.
Yeah. And so I like that, right? Because it's as simple as where she works, Home Goods, everybody can relate, right? You've probably been to Home Goods, or you know what Home Goods is, or you've been to a similar type of store. Something that small is something you can talk about and get them talking about their job and stuff like that, which builds that rapport and builds that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we covered a little bit of mindset, right? Any questions, guys, on mindset, going into mindset? Anybody have any questions? If you have anything, throw it in the chat. And we can ask some questions, guys, if you have anything. Okay. So moving on, guys, we're mentally focused, right? We know what we're trying to do. We know we're trying to win them over. We know we're trying to, come confident, friendly, all that good stuff. Is there anything that you do before every showing to kind of set the expectations of what's going to happen on the showing, or create some sort of structure to how that showing is going to go?
Yeah.
Like, are you telling them, like, setting the expectations already of what will happen?
Yes. So for example, on the new build showing, we had the new build and we had 2 other properties that we were going to see in the resale. So before that, I'll send them an email and just kind of outline what our showing is going to look like. For example, we're going to visit the home tour, the new sale builder at this is going to be our start point. And then from there, we're going to go on. And then I also share just a little bit about what the market is doing in that area. How is inventory looking? That's kind of like a little prep that I do. And then once I'm there, it's more the in-person connection.
Got it. So just kind of sending them a breakdown of, here's where we're going to go. Here's a little snapshot of what's happening in those areas.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of info going into it.
Yeah. Because keep in mind, some of these clients are skeptical or unsure. They don't want to share too much information. So it's keeping it simple and basic to the point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you're guiding the appointment. You're guiding the showing. You're guiding what are going to be the next steps.
Got it. Okay. Are there any questions you're asking the buyers, like, before you schedule the showing? What are some, like, non-negotiables, things that you need to know from the buyers before you go out there, just to make sure they're serious and things are clear?
Yeah. I ask, how far along are they on the home buying process? If they just started, when they need to be into their new home, have they looked into the financing just yet? And then I ask if this is the only city they're focusing in, and why this city, what's driving them there? Are they open to other options?
Got it.
A couple of questions, just casual questions that we're having on the conversation. It's like, why did you pick Hollister? She gave me her reasoning. Gilroy's also an option. Price point wise, she works in Morgan Hill. That's kind of the direction where she wants to be.
Got it. So a basic understanding of why they're making the move, when they have to make the move, what sort of options they're looking into.
And where are they at in the home buying process?
Yeah.
Hey, where are you at? Don't be afraid to ask, are you just starting? Because most clients are just starting. And you just got to reassure them, hey, not a problem. When we meet, we're going to go over all the next steps and what we need to do to get you ready. If this is the home you fall in love with, I will help you get prepared and be ready to submit an offer.
Yeah, I like that, right? Because asking where they're at kind of sets the stage of what you need to do and how you need to prepare.
Yeah.
Right. If someone's like just starting, they haven't looked at any properties. Well, they're probably going to have a lot more questions. You're probably going to need to guide them a little bit more.
Right.
versus someone who's already bought several homes and stuff like that, right?
Correct.
So you kinda know what you're getting yourself into by asking those questions so you can go out there and be more effective.
Yeah, and the question is not an interrogating question. It's super casual as we're going through the conversation. When I set up the appointment or when I call back to confirm, that's usually with the time that I say, hey, by the way, just so I understand what you're looking for, a lot of my clients find it helpful for me to bring a few more properties. Is this the only city? What made you choose this city? Oh, well, I work, and it opens up the conversation. How soon do you want to be in your home? What type of financing are you going to be doing? Do you have any idea on that yet? And it's just casual, and they answer all the questions.
Got it.
I feel that when I've heard a couple of agents when they're asking these questions and it's a little more interrogative process instead of a casual conversation. And I feel that that's where the guard is up from the client. They don't want to answer like, why are you even asking me this? I just want to go see the home. But if you make it casual and give an explanation, hey, the reason I'm asking this is because I want to see what else matches this criteria. So I can bring it with me and share it. And if you do say that, bring it with you. Bring and share something with you. Don't just say you're going to bring it and then don't bring it.
I like that, Blanca. I like what you're saying. You're not trying to interrogate them, right? It's more of the lines. I want us to understand it's the line of question of curiosity.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I'm just curious. Right. Once you open up with curiosity, their guard will drop.
Right.
The other point that I like Blanca mentioned is that she asked us that question on the second call when she's ready to give something, right? Remember, they came in, they want to see the property at 5 o'clock. Now Blanca's doing that call to make sure the property is available at 5. When she comes back, she's giving them the appointment. Yes, we're going to be meeting at 5. By the way, I'm just curious, is this the only city you're looking at? I'm just curious, what's your timeline? Just curious, right? And I like that. That's a great way of kind of segue into those questions because you're actually giving something, and then you're allowed to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what it's a lot of it has to do with how you say it and how you frame it, right?
Yeah.
Because two people can ask the same question, but one of them has like a nice casual, personality. The other one's asking it like really straightforward, and it comes off a lot different, and you get a different result from the client, right? One has their guard up, one has their guard down.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just keep in mind, guys, the tonality is really gonna play a role there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's kind of run through a quick checklist of what do you take to your showing. So you got a Zillow Flex.
Yeah.
You already confirmed the appointment. You already called them back. You asked a couple of the qualifying questions. Now you're getting ready to go out there. What do you take to every single showing that you do?
So I'll bring my PRG folder, and then this is kind of the format that I have in my folder. And basically what it is, guys, is I have a printout. I'm still old school. I know a lot of you don't do printouts, but that's okay. Whatever works for you. And I keep it very simple. I have the property printout that has the profile for the agent with all the private notes with me. And I also attach some off markets to my printout. It's attached to my printout, the off market. And then another thing I bring is the client profile for them. And the reason I bring this is so it allows them to see the characteristics as I'm reading it to them of the property. But then I also do a quick, 1-page market analysis. I don't include all the pages. I just do the first page on the first visit because it gives them an idea of what the activity is in that area, right? This is when we're talking about the property. Before that, I also include why am I signing a buyer broker agreement? This is really easy to talk about because Zillow sends the 7-day showing agreement. Right? So the way I segue into this is, hey, I want to share some stuff with you guys about our touring agreement. I know you signed a touring agreement through Zillow, but I also brought some very good information on why that is required for us to have a buyer broker agreement. And then I show them the buyer broker agreement, which is attached here. We talk about it briefly as well. And I tell them this is something we're going to go over in detail on our buyer consultation. Okay. I also bring in my folder, a little information on me, my bio. I bring what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about when we meet on Zoom, the loan pre-approval process, the home buying process, the current market, strategies on preparing your offer, and backstage access to upcoming listings. By the way, I have a few off markets that I identified in this neighborhood that are not on the market. This is exclusive by working with me. We will have access to these homes. And then my business card. So I bring all of this with me to our showing, and I talk about all of these topics and things preparing for the buyer consultation. Some clients will sign there. Some clients will do the buyer consultation and sign on the buyer consultation, but I'm already handing them this so they have it to review.
Got it. Why do you think that's more effective to just have that and hand it to them when you can obviously go over it later on Zoom or whatever?
Because I feel that customers feel that you're more prepared, you know what you're offering, and you know what the market is doing, and you're providing value. Those are things of value. I've seen agents show up where they have nothing with them. They're not handing anything to the client. What does the client know about you? Nothing. Here you're giving them some background on you. You're giving them some information about your company. You're sharing what the stats are in that neighborhood. They probably don't even know of what's active, pending, and sold, and why is this property listed where it's listed. And then what we're going to talk about on our Zoom consultation is also detailed there because they know what to expect. I'm going to answer any questions that you have about the market, how aggressive we need to be. And another thing that I've been using lately, guys, is ChatGPT. If I go to an area where I don't know much about the neighborhood, because there are areas and neighborhoods we don't know a lot about, get a little glimpse, summary, bullet points on what the neighborhood is about. On my Zoom appointment on my Zillow appointment that I had for my showing yesterday, I arrived 20 minutes early to drive the neighborhood because I'm not familiar with that area. So I got there a little early, drove the neighborhood, saw what's around there, turned on all the lights, and then I texted my client, I'm here, waiting for you guys. I'm at the door waiting for them to come in.
Awesome. Okay, that's a lot of stuff, guys. So let's just kind of re-break that down, right? So you're coming with the packet every time.
Sorry, really quick. This little black folder has all my copies. So if I'm at home or I'm somewhere and I get a Zillow call or Jason calls me, hey, Blanca, can you meet a client? I have everything to put it together very quickly. The only thing I probably won't have is a printout for the MLS, but you'll have it on your phone. You'll have it on your phone and you'll be reading the characteristics, details, information. Try to call the agent, get a little more details. On this particular one, they had an offer due date for yesterday, so it was a little rushed, but I still went and met them because that's what's important. I'm trying to gain them to be my client.
Awesome. Okay. Big takeaways right there, guys. So no, this is good stuff. So, I mean, I think that's a huge thing, right? How many of us have a folder already with a bunch of printouts of things that you can just put a folder together and you have that in your car already, right? So that's number one. If you don't have that, it's worth your time to spend, an hour or something and print out, 20 copies of each thing that you need or 10 copies and keep them all in one spot. So now you have a folder in your car or wherever you keep it, right? And you can quickly be ready for a showing. And then all you're having to do at that point is just print out the property information, right? And so I love that, guys, because I guarantee you 90% of the people on our team don't have a folder like that ready to go. And remember, that's the speed, right? It's the speed to lead, right? How quickly can you be out there? If someone wants to go see a $2 million property within the next hour or two, and you're like not prepared, and that's the only time they can see it, you may miss that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Having comps, right? Having just a quick CMA of the comps, that's huge too, because now that's stuff that you can talk about while you're there, right? You have more ammunition of talking points and things where you can show your value. So I think that's huge, right? Along with everything else that you mentioned, We had a couple questions here. Let's see. Where are you getting the off-market lists in that area, Blanca?
It's on members. So when you do a quick search on the MLS, the members only, those are off markets. That's one way that Deb and I got our client in Sunnyvale on contract. It was an off market. So those off markets, I don't hand it to the client, but I say, hey, by the way, there's 2 other properties here in the area that are not on the market. I have access to it because of my membership, and we're able to get our foot into the door onto these off markets. I don't hand it to them. I just show it to them.
Members only, right?
Yeah.
Members only. And what was the price point on that one with you and Deb?
3 million.
3 million, guys.
Yeah.
From one of the off-market member-only ones, right?
Yeah.
So by her taking that extra step and bringing that helped secure that $3 million opportunity.
That's Jason, we just closed our first Zillow loan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome job, Blanca.
Yeah.
Great job with that one, Blanca.
Yeah.
Where can we find the document, the one that the NAR one that explains the
What we can do, Enrique, we can go ahead and go forward. We'll have 10 put that into their marketing folder.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's off
So
of the
that'll be
card.
added to your
That'll
marketing.
be added to you guys' marketing folder. I made a note of it already, Kiki. I already made a note.
I gave it to you.
Okay.
Oh, it's off of NAR. I'm sorry. What did I say? Card. Off
Yeah.
of NAR.
Okay. Who else had a question, guys? Saw a couple hands. Shital, what was your question?
Yes, when we are going for a showing, Blanca just showed us that market trends. So while trying to find the market trend, do we get only actives or should we add like pending and few solds, or how many of each we should add?
I would show as much activity. So if I keep it half a mile radius, if you're not getting activity, push it to 7.75. If you're not getting activity, 1 mile. If you're not getting activity, 1.5 until you're getting enough activity.
Okay.
And let them know, hey, this is a mile radius, a 2 mile radius. This is what the activity is looking like. Not a lot of inventory, a lot of inventory. The pendings, those are great talking points. These pendings went on the market, went into contract in 5 days, 10 days, 30 days. And it gives you a talking point. How is the market in that area?
Okay.
Yeah.
So my next question is, so market trends and comparables are almost the same then, right? Or should we have different copies for each? Like
Same.
comparables one?
The market analysis is actual data.
Yes.
Because you're entering a date, right? You're going back 3 months. I would say 3 to 4 months. And you could let them know, hey, this is 3 to 4 months. This is what we're seeing in this market. It's trending to be competitive. It looks like we may have some negotiating power depending on what you're seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to clarify that, guys, you're on the MLS, you're running comps, and you're looking for active, pending, contingent, and sold. And I would usually do last 90 days for the sold ones. And then what you could do is you do a half a mile radius to start. If there's a good amount of data, you select them all and just hit quick CMA. So if you hit quick CMA, it puts them all on one sheet where you could just have an easy kind of line item sheet. And then you're only showing that first sheet, right?
Yeah.
You're not showing all the pictures of every single property. It's just the first highlight sheet, right?
Yeah.
On the quick CMA.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need to bring
It's like
all the
summary.
pages with you because it has the property address, it has the square footage, the days on the market, the list price, the sold price. It has a lot of great information for you guys.
Yep. Okay, excellent. Who is next? Matt, you had your hand up. What you got?
Yeah. So Blanca, my question is, I use the RPR app for, like MLS information. If I don't have a printout or couldn't make it to the printer, what app are you using when you say that you can see it from your phone?
On the MLS, the REIL app, the MLS app.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not able to print the property characteristics or anything, just have it up on your phone and screenshot it. And
I haven't had luck with, okay.
And it has the private remarks. It's almost like you're on the MLS on your laptop, but on your phone.
Yeah. So you're
Okay.
just logging the MLS from your phone, guys. So RPR. So here's the thing with RPR. RPR is great for like looking up info and stuff like that. But I wouldn't use RPR like on your meetings. I would use MLS because it's the MLS, but it's just on your phone, right? So just logging on to the mobile version of MLS and you can quickly scroll through the properties, and you have a lot more information there that you can access easier.
And there, Matt, you're also able to see if there's offer due dates, because sometimes it's only in the private remarks. If the seller is offering a credit for whatever reason, if it's a trustee sale, any of the private remarks, you're able to see it on your phone.
Yeah. Remember, guys,
Yeah,
RPR pulls from the MLS, right? So rather than
Yeah.
go to RPR, just go straight to the MLS. That's where they're pulling the information from anyways.
So which one are you using, the client or the touch?
I log into my MLS.
From
From my
from your internet browser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
your
okay. I
internet
thought you were
browser-
going through the app.
No,
Yeah.
some people use MLS. I think it's MLS Touch. Yeah, I just log into my MLS.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so guys, the MLS is now mobile friendly, right? I think they
Yeah.
updated that in the last couple of years. So
Mhm.
you can now go on MLS,
Yep.
right?
That's
And just
exactly
log
it.
in. Yeah, just log in from your phone. Like you would normally log in online to the MLS, you just log in from your phone, and now it's mobile. It's
Mhm.
mobile friendly now.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you
know,
so
or,
much.
Or Matt, you got that new iPad, you can do it from your iPad, right? So just log on to the MLS.
Log in like you're logging into the MLS to do comps or property search, and you have it there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
One more question, Jose. What do you got, brother? Okay, you're good. I think we answered your question. Okay, moving on. Okay, so you prepared, right? Mindset. You've already had the initial conversation. You've prepared. You got everything that you're going to take to the appointment. Now you're at the appointment, right? You're there at the showing. What are some best practices for how you show up physically to the property? You said you got there early. Walk us through like those steps, right?
Yeah.
To have a successful showing.
Yeah, so arrive early, guys. The worst thing you could do is go to the showing and you're rushing and the client's already there waiting for you. Because that just puts pressure on you. You're flustered, scattered, and you're not in your right mindset. So please give yourself time. Even if you're scheduling these shortly or quickly, give yourself enough time to try and get there. Of course, if you're stuck in traffic or whatnot, then that's unpreventable. But get there, tour the property, get familiar with it so that you already have some things to talk about, some things to point out. I'm a super natural light person, and whenever I see a property and I come in and there's a lot of natural lighting, that's the first thing I'm going to mention to them. Look at all this natural lighting in this room. The kitchen's updated. The bathrooms are updated. They will think that you already have all this knowledge on the property, even though you just literally arrived there probably 20 minutes before them. Have all the lights on, open the curtains, go into the garage. I mean, tour the property, get prepared. And I usually stand at the front of the door with the door open, waiting for them. Because you haven't met them. They don't know who you are. You don't know who they are. So rather than standing outside, just be on the inside of the door and have the door open.
Okay, let's stop right there, because that right there is a huge point that people need to understand and implement, right? You don't want you don't want to walk in the property and you're discovering the property at the same time the buyer is discovering the property, because then you won't be prepared to now present the property, right? So when you get there early, you're 20 minutes early, you've turned the lights on, you've walked around, you've looked at the bathrooms, the kitchen, you've looked in the backyard, you looked inside the garage, you know like a rundown of the property. Now when the client comes in, you can present the product, so to say.
Yeah.
And now you're able to point things out.
Yeah.
Because you already know it, right? Just by showing up a little bit early. When you get there at the same time, like if the client's already there before you guys, that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
If they're already waiting at the door and then you're pulling up and you're trying to scramble and get out of your car and get your phone out to open the lockbox and you're trying to fumble with the keys and they're just there waiting.
And then it's dark, all the lights are off, all the curtains are closed, and it's just crazy.
That's unprepared, guys, right?
Yeah, I think that boils down to, guys, it's just being prepared, right? I think, I like what Blanca's saying, having that folder ready. That's preparation. Blanca is always dressed and ready to work, right? That's another thing that I know Blanca's well prepared with. And I love the idea that she says that when she goes in there, You got to go in there. You got to turn on all the lights, open up the blinds, make it presentable, right? If there's something in the property that doesn't look right, you may have to pick it up. You may need to move something around. You may need to spray Febreze in the house, right? Again, this is your time to perform. So you want to make sure that that stage is properly set up.
Yeah.
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 For my fellas, you got to be groomed and ready to go, guys. All right. Like, you got to remember, people are going to judge you off of first impressions, unfortunately, right? Maybe that's not right. They shouldn't do that, but people judge a book by its character. It's just natural human instinct. So if you don't smell good, if your hair's not combed, if you're not properly groomed, or you're not dressed right, you know what I mean? Or dressed, professional, they're going to judge you guys, right? And so that's controllable. And I speak to my fellas because I think if the fellas have more difficulty with this than others. But have a coat in your car at all times. Have a blazer, on a hanger, guys, so it's not all wrinkled and stuff like that, right? Have it on a hanger ready to go if you're working that day. Make sure if you're working that day, you shaved or you cleaned your face up or whatever that might be. Make sure you got some cologne and put a couple sprays of cologne before you meet them, right? Just the basic stuff, right? Ladies, I don't know, the equivalent for a lady, freshen up your makeup, whatever. Make sure you look in the mirror before you go out there, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All those gum, there you go. Gum too. Antonio, right? Last thing you want to do is like, you just ate a burrito with onions for lunch and now you're talking to them and they're just getting an onion whiff or whatever, right? That's not an enjoyable experience for the client. So you got to remember how you present yourself plays a role in them saying, okay, I'm confident in this person, right?
And that's the key word, Enrique, is the experience. What type of experience do you want to give this client? Because if you're not creating a top-notch experience, the probability of them having a lasting impression is 0, and they're going to move on. So at that point, you just became a door opener. So
Exactly.
So always keep in mind, if it was me buying this home and our price points in our area are super high, they're $500,000 homes. If it was me buying this home, what type of experience would I want? And I feel that if you have that clear mindset, that's how you're going to perform.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Question, Shital, what do you got?
Yes. Now we are talking about this first property that we are inviting the client to come and see. And we are expecting to show them 2 more properties, right? Because we tell them, okay, this is a property and I got 2 more. Are you ready to tour it with me?
Yeah.
At that time, we don't get a chance to go or preview the property or open the curtains and be present there. So in that situation, how we should act?
That's fine. Because now you're showing them the touring process, right?
Okay.
Now you guys are both driving there, you get there, it's understandable. You can actually say, hey, let me get everything ready before you come in, or invite them to come in. Hey, I didn't have the chance to set everything up. Give me a minute, or if you guys would like to just come in and we'll start switching lights as we go on, we can definitely do that. Give them the option.
Okay.
Yeah. You can say, hey guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. If at all possible, can I preview the property beforehand, a day before?
Yes. Of course, yes. If the property is vacant and if you made arrangements, you could go and preview if you have enough time to do that, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it is not vacant, will the listing agent give me twice the chance? Like first I go preview and then...
Yeah. And the listing agents, we know clients or agents preview. And I've had tons of calls where agents say, hey, I'm going to preview and then I'm bringing my clients at a different date. Absolutely. And then guess what? I'm giving them all the detail because I want it to sell right away.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it makes a difference if I have already walked down the property. It boosts my confidence is what I thought.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Blanca.
Good idea. Yeah. Thank you.
I think in that situation, guys, do the best scenario possible, right? If you can go early or a day before and preview, if it's worthwhile, if it's a big sale, right? A big price point, it's worth you going out there a day early to preview it because it could be a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 paycheck, then by all means do it. If you can't and you show up, maybe tell the clients, hey guys, give me 2 minutes. Let me go ahead and go inside and turn all the lights on and make sure everything's ready. And then I'll call you guys in, right? So they can they could wait in their car for 2 minutes. Most people, when they wait, they're just scrolling on their phone anyways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Also, do the best you can, I would say, in that scenario.
I
Okay.
like that, though, Enrique. I like that idea. Like you said, I mean, you're letting them know, hey, give me 5 minutes. Let me prep it for you. Right.
Yeah.
It just shows more value that you're going that extra step. I really like that.
Yeah, that shows professionalism, right? Like, hey, wow, the other guy didn't do this with me, right? Like, we went in and it's all dark in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or you could even say, hey, let me go in first. Let me make sure it's safe to enter. Something like that, right? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, wow, they're trying to make sure it's safe for me. I don't know. That to me, that would score some brownie points.
Yeah.
John, what do you got?
If you have the right personality, I kind of joke around with it a little bit, because I've had experiences and I'm old. So I literally walked into a house that was supposed to be vacant. It was a vacation home. Sellers were letting a friend use it for the week, didn't tell the listing agent. We walked in on a Sunday morning and there's this guy in his 80s watching TV on the leather couch, buck naked. And
Of course.
we opened the door and walk in, scared the hell out of this guy, scared the hell out of me. My clients were not real happy about it. I'm like, it's supposed to be vacant. He's like, oh, it's so-and-so's house. He's letting us use it. And, so now I use that story, or I have a couple others that have, nothing as exciting as that, but they appreciate you going in and making sure it's safe. I mean, there was another one I walked in where people were squatting. And they ran out the back door when we walked in. And that's more of a safety issue than just seeing some old guy naked. But, there's ways, especially if it's the second or third showing, second or third home with them, you've already got a little communication going, you've built some rapport. And then this just kind of cements in what Blanca was saying.
Yeah. I agree, John, and thank you for sharing that. I have tons of stories that I could share with experiences too. So something that I always do, even when the property is vacant, guys, ring the doorbell or knock the door. Just do that, because sometimes, remember, there's combo boxes too that maybe inspectors are accessing, or they're coming back to do something, or even the homeowners sometimes just come and like one time we showed up, the homeowner was in the back watering the lawn, which is great, but everything was locked up and it's supposed to be vacant, and there was someone in the backyard. So always just knock and, just err on the side of caution. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on, guys. Okay, so now let's focus to, you've prepared, you got the house open, the lights are on, you've already looked at the property. When you're in the property with them and now they're actually touring, what's your strategy? Are you following them around? Are you pointing things out? Are you just letting them wander? What has worked for you?
I do a little bit of both. You just kind of read the sense of the client, how they're feeling, because some clients want to go everywhere quickly. So it just depends where it's going, but I try to always lead. If it's a 2-story, I say, hey, let's do the downstairs first, go into the garage area, and then we'll go upstairs. And then I'm talking about each section of the home. Anything that I notice, even if it's a negative, I point it out.
Got it. Okay, so you're pointing out negatives too.
Even the negative. If it's something like there's a slope, those are things that I notice from experience. If there's cracking on the walls, anything that you notice, even if it's a negative, just point it out.
And so to get a little more specific, what is your stance? Are you, when you're pointing something negative, are you like neutral? Like, hey, I just want to let you know this is there.
Yeah.
Or are you saying, hey guys, don't buy this property? Or what, how are you approaching when you see negative?
Very neutral. It's very neutral depending what it is. Hey, I noticed a little slope here. However, it could just be a flooring leveling issue. But the good news is we'll review all the disclosures and the inspections. If there's anything going on with the foundation, we'll be sure to see that on the report.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's important, right? Because you're not trying to make the decision for them. Because some people may be okay with a slope and some people may not be, right?
Yeah.
So you're just educating them on what you notice, right?
And there's things that come with experience that you notice that sometimes they don't notice. So if it's something that's visually noticeable, don't be afraid to share it.
Got it.
Like Luis and I, our clients, and that we helped buy, there was some spotting on the floor. I pointed that out. There was some cracking on one of the walls. I pointed that out, and they're okay with it. They actually appreciate it. And, you know, they say, wow, we didn't even notice that, but you're right. And then we reassure it. We're going to review the inspections and reports. And if there's anything going on, we'll make sure to
It's a great way to build trust by you pointing those things out. Right?
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
shows the client that you're looking out for them, and there's everything's transparent. So
Yeah.
great way to build trust.
And then ideas. Clients love for you to give them ideas. Like if there's a wall in the kitchen area that's probably a big divider and you could possibly open it up to that open floor concept. A lot of talking points. Hey, this would look really nice if this was open here. Something that you guys could consider down the line. Giving them ideas on the bathrooms, kitchen. It opens up their perspective of seeing their home. They're envisioning themselves in the home. Even if it's not completely currently updated, it gives them an option.
Yeah, I like that, because now you got to think they're forming a perception of you on whether they would like to continue to tour with you, right? So if you're giving them a good experience while they're touring, you're pointing things out. You're saying, hey, I noticed, you could probably open this wall up, or I seen one property where they did this.
Mhm.
Now they're thinking, man, this is someone I want to bring along to the other properties that I look at, because they're giving me insight and stuff that I may not be able to see, right? So by you giving that extra little touch, you're scoring those brownie points with them.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you chit chat? Are you making small talk while they're touring, like talking about other stuff and connecting, or are you just strictly focused on the property?
A little bit of both. Focused on the property, keeping it to the property, and also small talk. Like if there's, talking amongst themselves or asking something, yeah, back and forth. Or sometimes they'll see something that's bogus or outrageous and point it out, and we chuckle about it. So keeping it casual and fun.
Keeping it fun. I like that.
Yeah, I really like to point out the backyard whenever there's 2-story homes, because that's a big factor. Sometimes you miss or you don't pay attention to because you're in the motion of seeing the home. So sometimes I'll say, hey, there's a 2-story home right back here. However, this one's a 1-story, this one's a 1-story. So privacy wise, you would only have one 2-story home behind you. Oh, that's a good thing to point out. Yeah, well, maybe, we wouldn't want that, or yes, we would. So don't be afraid to point out things. If the backyard has a lot of privacy, hey, this backyard has tons of privacy. You have high fences, mature trees, things like that. If you see a big mature tree and the roots are kind of uneven in the backyard, don't be afraid to point that out too. Those are factors. Those are things that are going to come up.
Yeah. Those are things they may have to address later, right? So
Mhm.
you're already setting those expectations with them.
Yeah. So the conversation goes in a lot of direction. You need to be engaged. The worst thing that you could do is just follow them and not say nothing. That's boring, and you sound unexperienced, and they're probably like feeling awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably thinking, what's up with this girl?
Yeah. And
So-
I think you have to get comfortable with that too, right? Like, I think especially if you're a little bit newer and you're still not confident 100% to like engage.
Yeah.
Maybe what's a simple way, right? Like where if, let's say you're newer and you're still trying to build your confidence, what are some simple things that you can talk about that
Yeah.
are just easy?
Easy. How do you guys feel about the floor plan? How do you feel about the size of the living room? How is the size of the bedrooms? What did you think of the master? Where's the focal point that everybody's at? The kitchen, the dining, the living room. Hey, do you guys like to entertain? Do you guys like to have family over? Because this is a nice open area where this would allow for that. How are your holidays? Common things that what you experience at your home.
Yeah.
Kind of turn that around into the client's perception.
There you
I
go.
like the technique Blanca's using there, guys. She's asking questions, right?
Mhm.
Do you guys like to entertain? And that's open it up to, building that rapport.
Mhm.
I think, this asking is, again, coming from a place of not interrogating, but coming from a place of curiosity.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm curious. Hey, do you guys like to entertain? How are you guys' holidays? Happy New Year, right? Kind of all that kind of flows together. And I think, again, it may take some practice. And what I would recommend for some of my newer agents is, even if you don't have a showing, Megan and I had her do this. She actually took her sister to a showing, right? So brand new. So that's another way you can get some reps, some practice in, is take your husband, take your significant other, and start acting as if you're actually showing them that home, right? That's how you can build some reps, and maybe take a different family member and have them go easy on you so you can flow through your process, and then have them, ask you some questions, put you on your heels so you can kind of know how to react. I think that's a great exercise for you.
Or take another agent on our team, right? If you guys are both trying to learn, you guys go together and you guys switch role playing. Hey, you pretend I'm the client, you're the agent, and then switch it over, right? Implementing all these different things and prepare as if you had a showing. That, to me, that's super valuable to do that, because now you're not practicing on the client. Now you're performing on the client, right?
And there's tons of topics that you could talk about. Even the simplest thing, John, we closed on our condo in Fremont. Our buyers were wondering about something to clean, remind me, the sink. And John's like, oh, don't worry, just buy this and some, I forgot what you told them, sprinkle it on there and it'll take it right out. Like anything you do that works at home or in the kitchen, share it with them. It's a topic, it's a conversation.
Shital, question.
Not a question, just agreeing with Blanca and you. I went with Patrick the other day. A big shout out for Patrick. We did the role play of home showing. And one simple thing he wanted me to do is smile a lot. Don't be like, just tell them all the information, just try to have a conversation. And one more thing, it was really important for me. He told me, like, always start from one direction, at least left to right, or go from right to left. So, I was trying to show him living room once and then the kitchen once. He's like, no, go in a flow take one direction and go with it. I think it's worth sharing it. And thanks to Patrick once again.
Yeah,
That's a good tip. Going with the flow of how the house flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the simple, right? But things we don't normally think of, right?
Yeah.
To make it flow. Okay. Couple more minutes, guys. Now I want to transition to the end of the showing. How do you close out the showing? How do you move them forward? How do you get feedback on the property?
Yeah. So for example, the clients that I've met this week, one of them signed already. I have not had the opportunity to show them, but the ones that I did meet in person, at the end, what I did is I kind of did a little recap. What did you guys think of the home? I would love to propose the buyer consultation. It's going to be a lot more detailed. I'm going to cover a lot more about the home buying process. Now that I have an idea what you're looking for, I'm going to put together a plan for you on homes to view, and just go for the appointment. So from now, I would like to see what's your availability looking like. Would you have some time tomorrow? If it's Monday, would you have some time tomorrow or Wednesday? What's your schedule like? Don't give it too much time to lapse, because they are active. They have you fresh on their mind, and let them know that you want to go ahead and do this buyer consultation with them to fully inform them and know what they're looking for, and also to get them to work with you.
Got it. So are you doing that right there in the house? Are you going to the front? Where are you doing that?
As soon as we lock up the house, we're either by the door or we're in the driveway or we're closer to their car. That's usually where it happens.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thank them for the opportunity to meet them. I've given them their folder, and I said, hey, the next step would be, I have a great mortgage lender who I can put you in touch with. It would be a Zoom consultation. And I always say free of charge, no obligation. Those are my key words, because then they feel there's nothing holding them or committing them to working with you. If it works, great. If the numbers make sense and everything looks good, then we move on to the next step. But that's really your next step that I would really like for you guys to focus on. The lender's not going to pull your credit until you physically upload your application. And if you want to interview more than one, like you're doing with the real estate agent, I encourage you to do it.
Got it. Now, are you asking about that property, what they thought about that property? Yeah. If they say, hey, we like this property, are you going straight to let's make an offer, still consultation? How are you?
So, okay, let's just say they say, hey, Blanca, we like this home. What would we need to do? Okay, the next step would be your qualification if they don't have a pre-approval. We would need to get you pre-qualified. On this particular home, the disclosures are available. I can definitely share those with you and review them together. And we can also touch on the buyer consultation just to answer any questions that maybe are still pending in your mind and show you the process so that you know what to expect as we're moving forward.
Got it. So if you know they like it, you're pushing for pre-qual, if they don't have
Yeah.
a pre-qual, right?
Yeah.
And you're pushing for, let's review disclosures and let's talk
Right.
about letting an offer.
Right.
If they don't like the property, are you already proposing to go look at more properties or do the consultation first? What?
I'm proposing to do the consultation first.
Okay.
So I'm basically ending it, wrapping it and saying, hey, okay, Enrique, the next step would be to do our buyer consultation. There, I'm going to go over with the market. I'm going to answer any questions. I'm going to show you from A to Z the home buying steps. And I'm also going to let you know what you need to do to get your pre-approval ready for when we do find that right home, you're ready to submit an offer.
Got it.
What's your availability? Would you have some time tomorrow or Wednesday? We could do a Zoom appointment. It'd be about 30 minutes.
Okay, there you go. So assuming the close, basically, right?
Yeah.
You're recapping, wrapping up, and saying, hey, next step is this. When are you available?
Yeah.
Right. And then you're explaining, I think to point that out is she's not just saying, let's do a buyer consultation. She's saying, let's do a buyer consultation. And on that consultation, we're going to go over A, B, C, and D. So she's articulating the value points of the buyer consultation.
Yeah.
And then closing it with, when are you available tomorrow or the next day? It could be on Zoom. It's only 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I think that's an important little detail is you don't want to just say, hey guys, let's go ahead and set up a buyer consultation. Are you available? Because they may not know what a buyer consultation means to them, right? And so you always got to explain what that means and why it's going to be valuable to them to get them to want to move forward with that, right? Okay. Let's take, we're coming up on time, guys. First of all, let's just give Blanca a round of applause, guys, for sharing all that insight and wisdom.
I'm excited for you guys. You guys are doing great. I hear everybody.
This is awesome, guys. Last little thing is I want everybody to go into the chat right now and just drop what's one takeaway that you got from today, right? One takeaway, one reminder, one thing that you absolutely need to start implementing, or one thing that you forgot and you got to start doing this again, or what stood out to you the most? Because we went over a lot of stuff. You can go in the chat here on this meeting.
If there's one last thing that I could leave you guys with is be prepared, have the right mindset, and be genuine.
There you go. Love it.
Be prepared, have the right mindset, and be genuine. You guys will be good.
That's it.
Stuff up.
Bring in, show your value. Always have a folder in the car with the comps. Preparation is key. Build the trust. Bring a quick CMA. Reinforce importance, value of consultation. Ask about layout. Assume the next appointment. Smile and show that you're there for their best interest. Make sure I have all my go-tos ready. Yeah. A lot of it's just the preparation, right?
Preparation, guys. That's it.
Yeah, and I like the one key thing at the end. We're always setting the next appointment, right? You always have to set next appointment, either for the offer consult, buyer consult, financing, or showing more homes. Right? I think that's an important takeaway. Where for us to get to that second date, when I'm looking at the CRM, and I have a lot of them in the stages of met, not showing homes, it's because we're not asking for that second opportunity, that second date. So I like how Blanca's closing that part out.
Yep. There should always be a next appointment. There's only two outcomes, right? After every showing, it's either, hey, we're writing an offer on this home. We're going to meet to talk about writing an offer, or we're going to meet for the buyer consultation, or we're going to go look at other properties, right? Right. There's like those three, right? And the consultation could be like the segue to set up a time to go look at other properties.
Yeah.
And so there always has to be an appointment from this appointment. Don't ever just say, all right, guys, get back to me, right? That's the biggest mistake you can make.
No.
Lead them to the next meeting and schedule with them. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we went over a lot of stuff. Let's implement this, guys. This is being recorded. We'll go ahead and send out the recording. We're going to start implementing some of these easy tools into your marketing kit as well, so you guys are prepared. But if you don't have your folders printed out and ready to go, guys, like take this, right, as the moment to now put that on your calendar. Have your stuff ready, guys. It'll make you just a lot more prepared, a lot more successful. One more time for Blanca, guys. Thank you, Blanca.
Thank you, guys. Have
All
a
right.
good one.
We'll see you
Get
soon,
out
guys.
there.
Let me know if you need something.